For over 50 years, the family-owned businesses of AMF Bruns have been providing the safest, quickest, and easiest to use wheelchair restraint systems worldwide. AMF Bruns is a globally recognized leader in adaptive driving restraints and products. With their own in-house crash testing facilities, their products meet and exceed all government regulations, guidelines, and standards of ISO 10542, WC18, SAE J2249, CSA Z605, AS 2942, ADA, FMVSS, and CMVSS. Always an innovator in the industries we serve, AMF Bruns has pioneered several securement products that have revolutionized the industry, including its renowned Protector Securement System retractors. Protector Wheelchair and Occupant Restraint Series are available in Platinum, Silver, or Black Series. Platinum Series Heavy Duty Retractor features self-tensioning retractors and a knob to apply extra tensioning if required, meeting the WC18 regulation. Silver Series automatic and self-tensioning retractors feature a knob to apply extra tensioning if required. Black Series, our manual retractors, uses a knob to apply tension to the retractors. Retractors are available with J-hook, buckle and tab loop, or carabiner. To properly use the Protector restraint system, complete the following steps. Begin by thoroughly reading and understanding the user manual. Always refer to these manuals for proper instructions on using the Protector restraint system. Start by always inspecting the components of the system as part of your pre-trip checklist. A checklist is provided for you in the user manual. For each wheelchair position in your vehicle, you should have 4 retractors with the correct anchor fittings, 1 lap belt, 1 shoulder belt, or an integrated lap and shoulder belt. Also, locate the optional webbing loops and a belt cutter for emergency use. A wall storage pouch is recommended to store the securement system when not in use. In order to effectively speed up the boarding process, all of the components should be stored in the appropriate pouch or storage bag. Components should always be free of debris and properly contained to be free of tangles. Next, inspect the webbing for cuts or damage. Check that the metal components are not worn or cracked. Check floor and sidewall anchorages for cleanliness, removing any debris or obstructions. If there are issues or concerns, report them to your supervisor. While there are many different types of wheelchairs you'll encounter, securing a passenger's wheelchair occurs in 3 easy steps. First, attach the 4 retractors to the floor anchorages. Next, secure the wheelchair with the retractors and wheelchair attachments. Finally, secure the passenger safely with the lap and shoulder belts. Now, let's take an in-depth look at each step. Start by boarding the wheelchair. Position the wheelchair passenger by facing forward the same direction that the vehicle is traveling. Next, center the wheelchair squarely into the rectangle formed by the 4 anchor points in between the floor rails or anchor points. Alternatively, some installations use smart discs or perpendicular mounted tracks. In these cases, center the wheelchair into the rectangle formed by the 4 anchor points. Next, lock the wheelchair wheel locks. If the wheelchair is motorized, power the unit off. Continue by then attaching the 4 retractors to the anchor points on the vehicle using the installed anchor system. Now, locate the appropriate attachment points on the wheelchair. Attachment points should only be used on the rigid frame members of the wheelchair. Never attach to footrests, wheels, or detachable points on the wheelchair. Select attachment points on the wheelchair that are level with the seat base. If you experience trouble attaching the retractors to the passenger's wheelchair, use the optional webbing loops instead. Finally, unlock the wheelchair wheel locks and hand tension the rear retractors. When looking at the front of the wheelchair, the straps should never be closer than 12 inches away from each other. For stability, front securements should be attached outside or wider than the width of the chair and the angle slightly outward. The vertical angle of the front tie-down from belt attachment, example J-hook to the anchor, should be between 40 to 60 degrees. When looking at the back of the wheelchair, the straps should never be closer than 12 inches away from each other. The rear retractors are positioned inside or narrower than the wheels on the wheelchair. To ensure maximum safety, rear straps should make an angle of 30 to 45 degrees with the floor. Finally, ensure the retractors are safely secured in the rails or floor anchors by simply aligning the fitting with the anchor openings. Press down and slide until it clicks. Visually check the locking indicators on top. It should be aligned. After properly securing the wheelchair, the next step is to safely secure the passenger. Start by notifying the passenger what you're doing. Throughout this process, minor physical contact is necessary. Always use the back of your hand when making physical contact with the passenger. You may ask for assistance from the passenger to properly position lap and shoulder belts if they're able to. Seat belts must be snug and flat against the body and should never be twisted. They should never be held away from the body by wheelchair components such as armrests or wheels. To secure the lap belt, attach the appropriate end of the lap belt to the anchor point on the left rear retractor behind the wheelchair. Thread it around the passenger and between parts of the chair such as the seat and the armrest or the back. The lap belt should never go over or around the armrest side panels or any other object that would hold the belt away from the passenger. The lap belt should be worn low on the pelvis. Attach the other end of the lap belt to the tongue on the right rear retractor. Lap belt buckle release button should be on the aisle side of the passenger. Next, to secure the shoulder belt, attach the appropriate end of the shoulder belt to the anchor point on the vehicle wall. Bring the shoulder belt over the center of the passenger's shoulder and attach to the tongue that is stitched to the lap belt. Take care to ensure the belt does not travel across the passenger's neck or that the belt is positioned over the armrest of the wheelchair. Adjust the height of the shoulder belt if necessary to ensure proper positioning on the passenger's shoulder. To properly deboard your passenger, simply reverse the procedure. Start by ensuring the wheelchair wheel locks are engaged. Taking care that loose ends don't strike other passengers, release the shoulder belt and remove. Next, release the lap belt and remove. Next, remove the 4 retractors. Start by depressing the release button on each retractor to release the tension. Then, remove each wheelchair attachment strap. Finally, remove the retractors from their anchors. After unloading the passenger, inspect all securement components and return them to their respective pouches or storage boxes. As a worldwide leader in mobility safety equipment, AMF Bruns continues to innovate in the markets they serve. To learn more about the Protector Restraint System, contact AMF Bruns at 877-506-3770 or visit us on the web at amfbrunsamerica.com.